I'm never going to forgive Warner Brothers for shutting down Monolith and holding the Nemesis system hostage. If you've never played the Middle-earth Shadow games, basically the Nemesis system is a mechanic that allows you to interact with NPC enemies. In the case of these games, it's orcs, like orc captains and lieutenants, and your interactions and experiences with them create a unique story. Let me give you an example. So let's say you meet this orc and they have their own unique design. It's kind of like randomly generated from a pool of like lots of different combinations. But this particular orc is afraid of fire. Now, because he's afraid of fire, you can use a fire-based attack to deal extra damage to them. And in the encounter, you might actually defeat them with fire damage. Now, they could escape and run away, and then you could bump into them again later down the road. But this time they're burnt. They're actually physically scarred. They've got burns on their body from that previous encounter. And they'll actually bring it up as part of the conversation. They'll be like, you burnt me, I'm going to take revenge on you, blah, blah, blah. It's honestly an insane system, and the guys at Monolith that came up with it were genius. This is one of those systems that you could apply to pretty much any game, and it would automatically improve that game. It was actually going to be part of the Wonder Woman game that Monolith were working on, but obviously that got cancelled when they got shut down. I've always thought about how good the Nemesis system could be in a Batman game, especially a Batman Year One game where you've still got a reputation. So Batman's kind of like almost a myth at this point. And your encounters with, street level like crime bosses has an effect on how other criminals perceive you. So for example, you might chase a guy down in the Batmobile and he actually escapes, and then the next time you encounter them, he starts making fun of you because he managed to escape you in the Batmobile, and the level of intimidation goes down. But then conversely, you might take down like a warehouse full of enemies completely silently and use fear tactics, and then the whole sort of fear threshold for like other enemies in the area goes up because they hear about this thing that happened. It could even be expanded to like the full rogues gallery, like if you have an encounter with Two-Face where he's trying to rob a bank or something like that, depending on how that interaction goes, dictates his reaction to you the next time you have an encounter. And I think that kind of system would work really well for a Batman game that isn't set just during the span of one night. A persistent world Batman game where you're going out every night and taking down different bosses and things like that. But that's just one example. The Nemesis system could literally be dropped into almost any game, and it would improve it if it was done correctly. So let me know in the comments what game you'd like to see the Nemesis system in.